Hello guys, Robot1 here, and today we are going to be doing a card discussion. And this card discussion, well, it's generally going to be a bit of discussion about the link format and how this card is going to affect something and what I think of the card in general. So today we're talking about a bit of new pendulum support that comes out in extreme force. So not Codebreaker or whatever it's called. The set after that. Oh, Circuit Break, the set after Circuit Break, and I saw this card and I was thinking, this card is okay, but not great. And it's for pendulums. I'm sure some of you have guessed what I'm going to be talking about, and it is Pendulum Paradox. Now, Pendulum Paradox, it's an alright pendulum support card. It's not awful, it's not bad, but my problem with it is, it doesn't really do much, if you get what I'm saying. Now, it does have potential. I'm not gonna lie about that. I could use it in Magicians, and I would be happy with it. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't really do a whole lot on its own. So let's get onto this card. So, Pendulum Paradox, it's a normal spell card, and its effect is add 2 face-up pendulum monsters with the same pendulum scale, but different names from your extra deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 Pendulum Paradox per turn. Now, what do I essentially want to talk about this card for? Well, this card, it has potential. But there is a problem with it, I think. The problem mainly is it makes you have to search the same scale. It will add the same scale. Now, this card it's got potential. It really does, especially in something like Magicians, where you are running probably, I don't know, 3 different 8 scales, and then 3, 4. No, You're running 4 different 8 scales, including Joker, and then you're running about 3 scale 1s in your deck. And the reason why I wanted to kind of talk about this was because the card. It's very interesting. You can search it of Pendulum. You can search it of Duelist Alliance. Has Pendulum in its name. It kind of outclasses Amazing Pendulum, being that you can control the scale and still activate it. And I just really kind of wanted to talk about what it can do for pendulum decks, such as Pendulum Magicians, or something like Dynamist, or... yeah, I'm going to talk about Dynamist. Dynamist can come... it actually has some potential again, thanks to me, Starboy! I don't care if it's Master Boy now. It will always be in my mind. Me, Starboy. That's just too good not to say. And also in decks like Metal Foes that run a lot of scale 8s and a lot of scale 1s. So the potential of this card, there is a lot of it. There is a lot of potential in the pendulum format for this card, in the link format, because it gives pendulums a way to recycle their extra deck. Something that we do need a lot more of if you're going to play a pendulum deck. But would I say you would play this card at 3? No, not at the long shot. I'd probably say you would play this card as a 1-of, purely because it's searchable. You don't really want to play something that's searchable more at 1 most of the time, unless it's like Deneb, which can search you more cards, or I don't know, something like Pendulum Core, which I'd say play 2 of, no more than that. You don't need more than 2, and it's more of like a Garnet card that has resources for late game, so I wouldn't really want to be playing this card at more than 1 in the deck. But the potential of this card, it can bring out a lot of extra plays in a deck such as Magicians. Because if you're in the late game, you've got like some scales left in your deck, you need a specific scale, you draw Pendulum Paradox, and you've got a Joker and, I don't know, a Black Fang in your extra deck. You could activate Pendulum Paradox, add the Black Fang and the Joker to your hand, normal summon the Joker, then search the low scale you need to be able to pendulum summon. Now, Of course, it's not going to be very relevant because you're going to need to search a different scale. Plus, you're still only probably going to be able to pendulum summon one. But with that extra pendulum summon in Magicians, you could pendulum summon another Dark Pendulum monster. That Dark Pendulum monster could then be summoned to make the new Dark Rebellion, being able to deal probably something like, I guess, minimum 4k damage, or you could possibly summon a Tuna monster such as White Wing, being able to summon the Clear Wing, being able to get over all your opponent's monsters, just Raigeki instantly. You could summon, I don't know, you could just summon any rank 4 monster. You could summon a Utopia Lightning, using obviously Utopia and Lightning. Like, there's ways for Pendulum Paradox to be used because it can lead to other plays later in the game, which I think is pretty good because Pendulum in the early game, they're still really good, but their main problem is the late game, which is why we run Oath Dragon. But the only way I can see this Pendulum Pendulum Paradox being very relevant is if you already have at least one scale and you don't have another scale. So you want to add 2 scales back to be able to gain more advantage. But right now, I don't really see this card being very relevant. Because this card in something like Metal Foes, it can be very good. I'm not going to deny that. Being able to add, say, a Steelin and a Bismagit. That's 2 scales, but if you ain't got that scale 1, Pendulum Paradox isn't going to do anything for you. Or in Dynamist, you could add a Rex and I don't know, a Rex and the level 4 that banishes monsters when a Dynamist kills them. You can add those 2, but if you don't have the low scale, it's not gonna do much. Like, this deck, the deck like Pendulum decks rely too much on having the upper scale. So this card does have a lot of potential in the late game, but when you think of that as a whole, the only Pendulum decks I can see this really being used in are Magicians, maybe splashed into a Metal Foes deck if you want. Like, my friend plays Metal Goki, so that could be very relevant there. You could play it in Dynamist, being able to add as a like, I don't know the dinosaurs. I can't remember anything but Rex and Stego. You could add a Stego and the Pterodactyl. That's actually right, because if you can kill the monster with the Pterodactyl, then you can get an additional monster, a Dynamist card added to your hand. And it's like, there are potential plays in the decks. Like, Pendulum Paradox does have some relevance, being able to recycle 2 Pendulum cards. But overall, it doesn't really do much. Like, it can give you additional plays, it can give you cards back, but in the overall rundown, you are going to need more than just those two 8 scales, or 2 6 scales, or 2 1 scales, or 2 scales, 3 scales, whatever you think they're going to be. You're going to need a lot more than that. So Pendulum Paradox, it's an interesting card. Konami giving us Pendulum support that is somewhat decent. Thanks. Just give us Wavering Eyes back off the ban list. I'll be happy with that. And it's just very, very interesting to talk about this card because it has potential. It gives Pendulum decks the potential to come back. We could possibly even see. We could possibly even see, if we can find one, we could possibly even see Pepe come back. I don't know. They run a lot of different scales, but they do run a lot of 3 scales and a lot of 5 scales, so I could possibly see that coming back. You could see it in Dracos as well. Like, oh, I'm talking about the Draco Pal variant. Like, you could see cards, possible decks come back just because of Pendulum Paradox. Like, it's an interesting card. It gives Pendulum decks that don't have that resource to recycle their extra deck, gives it that resource. But yeah, guys, I just really wanted to talk about this because Pendulums have been my deck for probably I would have to say since the Magician structure had come out, so probably around a year or two, I've been playing Pendulums, and I've just enjoyed them so much. Like, Pendulums have literally been one of my best decks. Still playing Pendulums in the Link format with Pendulum Magicians, as you've seen from the duel videos. Kind of changed from the pure build to the Zark build recently as well, because it's more enjoyable, more fun, but yeah, guys, I just really wanted to talk about this new pendulum support that Konami released. I'm not going to talk about those mythical beast pendulums because they're trying to bring spell counters back. Spell counters are still garbage. Why? But Pendulum Paradox was a card I actually really wanted to talk about, so yeah, guys, that's the video. Tell me what you think of Pendulum Paradox in the comment section below. Just really wanted to talk about the potential this card had and the potential it could give to Pendulum decks going forward. And yeah, guys, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Press the notification button to be notified of future videos. And thanks for watching, guys. New Pendulum support. Can't wait to get it in the TCG. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Robot1, signing out. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and check out the links in the description for the previous video, and the link to my Facebook page where you can see previous videos that I've posted there, and any other information that I may have posted there. I hope to see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.